Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the Indian benchmark indices, they opened weaker, they went up higher. They closed on a mixed note on Monday with respect to both the Sensex and the Nifty underperforming compared to the broader indices. Remember, this was as a reaction to the Hindenburg research report that had come in over the weekend. Most of the Adani Group stocks, however, ended in the red, although they recovered from their earlier lows. That was seen as a knee-jerk reaction to the report, and so for the markets as well. But a large part of the markets did gain from the lowest point of the day as of yesterday. Now today, as we will be again looking at the second day in a row reaction to that one, if that continues at all, on the entire Adani Group and overall the markets, but there's a lot more than the markets will be reacting to. We actually saw a sharp cool off in the CPI inflation, although the IIP was tad bit disappointing as well. Remember, India's CPI inflation has now come in at 3.54% versus 5.08% for the first time within that RBI band, and also India's industrial production came in at 4.2% versus 5.9%, and of course there'll be a whole host of earnings that the markets will be reacting to and the global cues as well. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. मंगलवार है तो मंगल ही होगा बाजार में. A very warm welcome to you all to market today. Let's look at what the structures are in the market as far as the indices are concerned and how are they placed. For the moment, you have the daily Nifty chart in front of you. Of course, cues from overseas are muted. Foreign institutional investors continue to sell and they remain sellers for the past 14 trading sessions out of 15. The loan day they purchased, it was on 1st of August. So from the budget, which is 23rd of July till about 12th of August, there has been nothing but a negative number coming in from foreign institutional sellers. Added to that is the Hindenburg issue. Added to that is the relative overvaluation of Indian markets. So at 24,350, ladies and gentlemen, the Nifty is struggling, literally struggling to reclaim previous highs, which were somewhere like 24,074, 25,100 or so. So for the moment, let's ignore the Nifty and the Bank Nifty and keep our focus on sectors and stocks that are doing phenomenally well. Because Thursday is a holiday, and Nifty's weekly expiry has been pulled a day in advance, which is Wednesday. So today is T-1 for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty as well. Therefore, options premia are getting squeezed. On top of it is the Hindenburg report, which has been ignored by the market, but it has become a political slugfest between the BJP and the Congress. So the overhang will remain, provided there are no other disclosures coming in from either side and the issue is not escalated. One can safely presume that the worst is behind us as far as Adani stocks are concerned, but markets are volatile and unpredictable. We really don't know what will happen next. But for the moment, it seems that the market at least has ignored the report. Now, HDFC Bank will be in focus today because its weightage in the MSCI Global Index is likely to increase over the end of August to about 0.56% versus 0.37%. There has been a rejig that has happened in MSCI Global Index. 6 other Indian stocks, including RVNL, and that is why it was up 10% yesterday. Bosch, Zydus Life and Prestige are among the new entrants. So keep these 4 or 5 stocks in front of your radar, in particular HDFC Bank. Remember, this is the highest weighted counter in both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Any uptick that you might see in this one will help both the indices. Let me just add one more line as far as HDFC Bank is concerned. Over the past 3 months, HDFC Bank has performed fantastically well, up 15%. This is the best, this is the second best performing banking stock in FNO, below Federal Bank. And if you look at within the Nifty, at 15.2%, this is doing a fantastic job, at least in the top 4 or 5 performing stocks over the last 3 odd months. Let's move a little forward. You are already likely to see markets reacting to earnings coming in from, actually fantastic earnings coming in from NMDC. where profit for the first quarter is up 18%, and there is a very sharp increase in operating margin to the tune of 43.2%. The stock has underperformed dramatically over the past quarter, down 10.5%. The chart is right there in front of you. Please keep an eye out on that one. Hindustan Copper, not only is it in the ban, but it is the worst performing metal stock in the F&O space, down 19%. However, the numbers were fantastic, almost a 2x rise in first quarter profit, somewhere to 113 crores, and the margins expanded beautifully. So these are the two cash counters that you need to look at in the cash market, as also Vodafone Idea, ladies and gentlemen. It has performed improvingly well. If you look at how loss has come down to 6,432 crores versus 7,675 crores a year ago, this is something to look at. All these three stocks, NMDC, Hindustan Copper, and of course Vodafone Idea, have corrected over the past 1 month or so, but Vodafone Idea is up 26% in the quarter. The last month has been terrible. So a nice buy on dip is most likely as far as these stocks are concerned. In terms of earnings, 3 Nifty companies, Hero Motors, Hindalco and Apollo Hospitals, will now come up with their earnings, and there are 9 F&O stocks that will declare their first quarter performance. Among them, 2 gold financing companies, Muthoot and Manappuram, India's top auto ancillary maker Sambardhana Motherson, India's top, in fact the globe's biggest anti-malarial device maker Ipca, and of course you have other numbers coming in from 5 other companies. That's all I have as far as the Nifty, the Bank Nifty, and the numbers are concerned. Pharma and railway stocks are likely to continue their upward journey. Sakshi, any clue on what the foreign institutional number is for yesterday?
Absolutely, Shail. Remember, the overnight US markets, they ended on a mixed note right ahead of the crucial inflation data for the US. The Dow Jones ended about 0.4% lower. The Nasdaq gained about 0.2%. The S&P also closed unmoved. Post the market hours, the consumer inflation for July came in on expected lines at 3%. So the futures will be important to track, and how the markets react to that today in the evening is something that we will be keeping an eye out on. The US 10-year bond yield, that remained steady around 3.9%. Whereas the gold futures, they zoomed past $2,500 announced mark. And also when we look at the WTI crude futures, that jumped to near about $80 a barrel as well. Asia this morning, we actually saw Japan returning after a day's holiday, and it soared by 2.6% after inflation rose to 0.3% right there. Straits Times was up by about 0.5%. Taiwan added about 0.3% in trade. Kospi, however, was down by about 0.1%. And when we look at the Gift Nifty, that was trading at 26 points, or about 0.1% higher in trade at 24,370. So mild uptick is what we can expect. As far as the overseas investors are concerned, they again turned net sellers on Monday. The FPI's offloaded equities worth about 4,680 odd crores. Now the domestic institutional investors, they however remained net buyers for the 7th consecutive session. They mopped up equities worth about 4,477 odd crore rupees as well. And apart from this, of course, a whole host of stocks that will be important to watch out for. Not repeating Vodafone, that is the first stock that you will be looking at, both on the earnings perspective and the MSCI inclusion as well. Now, we will also keep an eye out on IRFC. Q1 total income up by 1.3%, and also the net profit jumped by about 1.7%. So mild uptick on both these factors. DOMS Industries Q1 consolidated YOY numbers show revenue up 17.4% for the company. The net profit improved 50% at 54 odd crore rupees for the company. It's a good set of numbers. Hutco standalone YOY numbers show that the total income was up by about 19% at 2188 odd crore rupees, whereas the net profit also improved by 25% at 558 odd crore rupees. Electra Green Tech also reported its numbers. Q1 consolidated YOY numbers show revenue improved substantially, 45% higher at 313 odd crores. EBITDA was just about marginal uptick of 2% odd. Margins at 13.7% were lower versus 19.4%. whereas the net profit was up 33% at 24 odd crore rupees as well. So operationally, there was some softness. NRB bearing consolidated YOY numbers show revenue uptick of 6%. EBITDA, however, was down 7% for the company. Margins came in lower, and the net profit, however, was up by about 37%. Forgings, remember, Q1 consolidated YOY numbers show revenue was up 3.2% at 382 crores. EBITDA improved by 11.7%. Margins also improved to 19.1% from 17.7%. The net profit marginally up by about 4 odd percent for the company. NMDC consolidated YOY numbers again, they do show revenue uptick of 0.3% odd. Net profit, however, jumped by 19.3% for the company. We've actually seen 1971 odd crore rupees of the profits. Now, of course, like I said, that some of the stocks will be included in the MSCI index. So RVNL will be in focus. Vodafone, Dixon Technologies, Oil India, Prestige Estates, Oracle Financial, Zydus Life Sciences, they have found a place in the MSCI index rejig as well. Apart from this, Power Grid will be in focus. The company has received a letter of intent for 20 gigawatts interstate transmission in the line in Rajasthan. Marico will be in focus. Remember, the company's manufacturing operations in Bangladesh that were affected due to the crisis within the country have now resumed at a normal scale yesterday. So you could actually expect some kind of a bounce coming back on Marico as well. So those are some of the stocks that I'm keeping a keen eye out on, Shail.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have Mr. Binod Modi, the portfolio manager for the PMS at Sher Khan, joining us shortly, followed by Mr. Mitesh Panchal, who will be joining in at 9 a.m. He'll be looking at the technical part of the market, and of course, Ratnesh Goel, senior technical research analyst at Arihant Capital Markets, will also be joining us once markets open. The only point of concern that I have in the market is this sustained selling that is now having coming in from foreign institutional investors, especially yesterday's number, as Sakshi has mentioned, is somewhere like 4,681 crores. If you look at month to date, which is in the month of August, except for the first day of the month when a minuscule 400 crores was purchased on a net level by foreign institutional investors, the net sell number is 25,000 crore rupees. In front of this, the net buy number from domestic institutions, ladies and gentlemen, the SIPs that you've put in are to the tune of 27,977 crores. So it's more or less even Stevens, and that's the reason why when global markets are falling like 9 pins, our markets are weak, but they haven't crashed, just as you've seen the fall in the Nikkei, the fall in the Dow Jones index. So that's a big plus. Let's hope this continues. And in terms of stocks, let's look at how pharma shares are outperforming, and that's very visible from the fact that you have record highs on counters such as Aurobindo Pharma, Glenmark Pharma. You have a very smart move coming in as far as Glenmark, as far as Granules India is concerned. There is a record high both on Lupin and Natco Pharma. So this is a theme that is running very well as a defensive posture in the market. People are booking out of defense, people are booking out partially from railway stocks, from PSU stocks, and using those funds to buy sectors and stocks which are relatively undervalued, ignored by the market, and then those are the numbers that are doing pretty well. So that's as far as pharma is concerned. The other stocks that are doing fairly well in the month of June, as far in the month of August, as far as numbers are concerned, are some that we need to pay attention on. Of course, in August, the top performing auto stock has been Ashok Leyland, 12% higher. Remember, its management, when it came for earnings, had mentioned that it has 3 subsidiaries which could be listed in the market, 2 from the NBFC space and 1 from the technology side. What else is doing pretty well in the markets? It's the entire insurance space. Pro ICICI Life up 12% in the month of August so far. HDFC Life up 10.6, SBI Life up 9. In this case, SBI Life and ICICI Pro are at record highs. There's a lot of hectic activity in the power space. IEX, the power exchange, is up 9.8%, and NTPC is up 6.7%. These are some of the stocks that you need to keep your eye on once you see strong moves coming in. As far as pharma is concerned, just look at the numbers. Granules up 34% in August so far, Lupin up 17%, Torrent Pharma up 13%, and Syngene up almost 14%. Sakshi, these are leaders of the market at a time when both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are in pain, and therefore they need to be given more attention compared with the market itself. Sakshi.
Right, and several brokerage houses have also come out with some reports on the pharma companies, especially Oro Pharma. We've actually seen Investec maintain a buy with a target price of 1400. We also have HSBC maintain a buy on the company with a raising of the target price to 1650 as well. So those are the kind of reports that we are getting on the pharma companies. On Zydus Life, Jefferies has come out with a report with a hold on the company and a target price of 1210. We have several other reports as well. So Signature Global is on Motilal Oswal's radar. They have initiated the coverage on Signature with a buy rating and a target price of 2000, implying a 38% upside potential on Signature Global right there. They are also saying that the shifting focus to premium segment with strong project pipeline will be aiding the sentiments for Signature, and margin improvement on the cards with focus on premiumization is key to watch out for going forward from here. A substantial 38% upside potential is what they see on the company, and that's how they have initiated the coverage. Goldman Sachs has come out with a report where they see a 26% upside on Honasa Consumer. They have initiated the coverage with a buy rating and a 570 rupees target on Honasa Consumer as well. On the home financiers business, Axis Capital has come out with a report. They have initiated the coverage with the PNB Housing, a buy rating, 980 target price. Canfin Homes, they have an add rating with a target price of 890, and Avas Financiers, they have a buy rating with a 2000 rupee target price as well. They also like PNB Housing, LIC Housing Finance as value picks, and Avas within the affordable housing finance companies as well. So those are some of the other finance companies that they are coming out with a report on. We have several other reports as well. So Voltas is on the radar of Nomura. Remember, yesterday the stock was sharply high in trade in the FNO space. Nomura has maintained a buy rating right there with a target price of 1511 on the stock. ONGC, remember, this stock has been continuously on the move. Even yesterday it was higher. Citi came out with a report maintaining a buy rating on this one and a target price of 350 rupees as well on this stock as well. So those are some of the stocks that I'm keeping a keen eye out on because of the brokerage houses reports. Shail.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, in focus will be Bharti Airtel. Its owner, Mr. Sunil Mittal, has now purchased a 24.5% stake in British Telecom in two stages. The first purchase will be of 10%, and the remainder for about 14%. The total cost of this transaction is roughly $3.4 billion or so. Let me just get that number for you correctly. Bharti, remember, has been one of the major outperformers of this bull run. For the moment, if you see on a quarterly basis, Bharti has gained to the tune of, let me just get this number for you. One second. 12% in the past quarter. Needless to say, this is a record high, and Bharti is amongst India's 15 most valuable companies. 8.8 lakh crores is the market capitalization of Bharti. The earnings that came in just a couple of days ago were fantastic, and of course you have seen this ARPU number climbing rapidly over the past 3 or 4 quarters for at least the first two companies, which is Reliance Communication or JioFin, and of course this one, Bharti Airtel. So keep an eye out on this one. And just a bit of an aside, somewhere in the early part of 2000-2001, British Telecom actually held 21% stake in Bharti Telecom, and then remember, life has taken a full circle. British Telecom is going through hard times, and it is now Bharti Airtel which is purchased at 24.5% stake in British Telecom. So this is how the strength of Indian capital markets the strength of Indian balance sheets and Indian businessmen is now visible. There was a time when we were attracting foreign capital because of the kind of growth that was likely to come into India. Of course, that happened. Now those companies are hunting overseas and buying all those companies which had actually invested in India in the first place. Sakshi.
Okay, I've fished out some more brokerage houses reports, so we can keep a keen eye out on those as well. Let's look at the insurance space. Nomura has come out with a report on the entire life insurance space. They do believe that private players continue to outpace the overall industry with 30% year-on-year growth in July 2024. The growth of public insurance industry was flat at 0.2% on a year-on-year basis. They do believe private players' market share is increasing to 69% versus nearly 68% in June of 2024, and they also believe that year to date FY25 growth has come in at 19%, versus about 26% year on year for the overall industry private players as well. Morgan Stanley has also come out with a report here on the life insurance space. They do believe July 24 individual APE growth was strong for private sector at 30%. HDFC Life grew at 58%. ICICI Pru Life grew by 40%, and that was on a weak basis. SBI Life, however, grew at 21% year on year on a strong base, and only one in coverage was to outperform in the private sector, and that's HDFC Life for them. On the banking space, HSBC has come out with a report. They do believe negative commentary from lenders on asset quality in unsecured loans has raised the fears of a crisis, and they compare the current key metrics to the two recent crises, the corporate asset quality stress and COVID. And they also believe a lower percentage of loans has affected now, and banks' balance sheets appear stronger and better provided at this point in time. So those are some broader macro perspective reports that we have. Apart from this, within the micro space, HCL Technologies is on the radar of Nomura. They have a buy call and a target price of 17.20. They do believe management has reaffirmed FY25 revenue growth guidance of 3 to 5% in constant currency basis. The deal pipeline remains healthy, order booking remains healthy, Gen AI impact to vary across sector lines. They also believe disciplined capital allocation policy will continue, and they are also committed to returning to at least 75% of PAT to its shareholders as well. So that is a bit positive for them going forward from here. Remember, chemical space is something that we've been keeping a keen eye out on, and Morgan Stanley has now got a report on Aarti Industries. They have an equal weight rating with a target price of 615. For operations, the company cited 6% Q-on-Q and 30% year-on-year growth in the volumes. They also see that the company has seen some green shoots in the agrochemical space as well. Also, going forward from here, the company is the guidance has been tempered. So that is something that they will be watching out for going forward from here. They also have cited significant competitive pressures, especially from China, and they've cited pricing uncertainties that will weigh on the margins in the near term going forward from here. They also believe the EBITDA guidance range of about 1450 to 1700 crores will be revisited over the next quarter. So that's something that's coming in on Aarti Industries as well. I think we have our first guest now to discuss the markets outlook. Mitesh Panchal is joining us, who will be tracking technicals for us. Mitesh ji, warm welcome. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out. It's good to have you with us. And of course, we will be in detail discussing the entire chemical story with you that you had pointed out initially about 1 to 2 weeks back on our channel on this show as well. But overall on the markets is something that I want to take a view as well. How have you assessed the move on the markets post the Hindenburg research report that has come in yesterday? And do you think large part of the pain is now over?
Good morning, Sakshi. Good morning, Shailji. Yeah, I'm of the view that the market has formed an intermediate bottom in the range of 24,000, 24,300, and now it is up for very strong upside. Probably 25,000 will be reclaimed very soon. So yes, technically we are very sure that sooner than later, stock will index will be heading for 25,000. The reason being is this: as if you look at yesterday's high, 24,000. 472, that was much higher than last 4 or 5 days trading sessions. So yesterday's trading sessions was very interesting for us from both daily and hourly chart viewpoint. And apart from that, we are of the view that now the indices has since closed above its intermediate resistance level of 24,250. So 25,000 is likely sooner than later. And we are of the view, Sakshi, that here now Bank Nifty will outperform Nifty. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, if you look at the structure of the Bank Nifty since last 2 to 3 trading sessions, now it is giving us kind of a comfort and above the level of close to 50,500. Now the indices is eyeing at 52,000, 53 and 1,000 respectively. And within that, we are very upbeat on the PSU banks, that is State Bank of India, PNB and Bank of Boroda.
Right. I'll request the PCR to fire the chart of crude oil futures, which are now above 200 DMA. Namaste, Mr. Ishi. As always, a very warm welcome to you, sir. Given this background move that you are seeing in crude oil futures, would you comment on ONGC? Mitesh, can you hear my voice? Mitesh, am I audible to you?
But your voice is not reaching to me. It's muted. It's written PCR, one bit is muted.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll try to fix that at our end, sir. What we'll do in the meantime is show you the chart of crude oil futures as also ONGC. Remember, ONGC is nearly at a record high. In fact, it closed at a record high yesterday, and it's likely to benefit further from the rise in crude oil prices. We'll just be discussing this shortly. The pre-open is upon us. Remember, we closed flat yesterday, 20 points lower. Let's look at how the markets are opening. I wish this were to 500 points higher on the Nifty. I would take it any day and shut the market just now. 24,734, but this will improve for the better. What can I say? I just shut the market today, go for a holiday. 5% uptick on TCS, now 3.27, 4333. Okay, sensibly HDFC Bank should benefit because of the uptick in its weightage in the MSCI Global Index, therefore 35 rupees higher, 1695. Remember, this counter is up 15% over the last quarter or so. What else is in very smart gains? ICICI Bank 56 rupees higher, 1228. So banks are doing well, and that is what Mitesh Bhai had said, that he wants to see Bank Nifty outperforming the Nifty. Okay, what else is in green? In fact, the entire 10 stocks making up the super index heavyweight sector are in the green. Tata Motors 3 rupees 85 higher, 1080. What is Reliance doing? 24 rupees higher, 2945. How about Infosys? Okay, 37 rupees 50 higher, 1834. This is turning out to be a good day. 24,500 is still sort of where the bulls and the battles are bearing it out. 159 points higher. In terms of top gainers in the Nifty 500, let's look at how the positioning is in earnings, boys. HUDCO 3.3% higher, 310. NMDC 4.5% higher, margin expansion, decent increase in profit, 240 for you. How about Idea Cellular 1.5% higher, 1625. Hindustan Copper 3.8% higher, 314.45. So these are earnings, boys, doing pretty well. Remember, Inox Wind was up 20% yesterday. It's up another 5.2%. What's doing well? Punjab National Bank. Remember, Mitesh just pointed out he sees PSU banks outperforming. Therefore, 115.40, 0.7% higher. What are the Adani Group stocks doing? Okay, I see nice green colors on Adani Total Gas, 4.8% higher. The price is at 874. You have 1% uptick Adani Green. Adani Ports has not opened its account as yet. How about Adani Enterprises? In the green, 31.53. So this is turning out to be a good day, mainly because Mitesh is here. Sakshi had pointed out Electra Green Tech as well. Strong earnings show, 5% higher, 1625. Let's get Mitesh back into the conversation. Good morning to you, Mitesh. I hope you can hear me. Your very quick view on Mr. Binod Modi is with us, portfolio manager for the PMS scheme at Shail Khan. Good morning to you, Binodji. Your very quick view on stocks such as ONGC, given the background of a sharp uptick in crude oil prices and, of course, the crisis in the Middle East.
Very good morning to all of you. As far as ONGC is concerned, we know the ONGC has been sort of underperformer for, if I look at last 2 to 3 years, specifically when the government imposed windfall tax and restricted the company to see any sort of incremental gain. So I think these things are behind as of now, and the recent policy what we saw a couple of days back when the government stated that all new wells the company would be entitled to get higher realizations vis-a-vis from the existing wells. So I think that certainly indicates that the incoming period, as we all expect, that the volume would be very good for the company, specifically from the new wells side. This along with the higher realization, I think that would continue to that would essentially support overall ONGC earnings going forward. And we should not forget the fact that in terms of valuation, in terms of I would say dividend yield, everything play in favor of the the company. So ONGC looks to be good for the long term perspective to us.
Morning to you, Miteshji, Binodji, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, I want to first understand from you on Vodafone Idea. How are you looking at the earnings? 14 quarter low losses is what we have actually seen. The stock is up by 1.5%. So improving fundamentals for the company along with the fundraise and the things that are working in favor, tariff hikes, a sector-wide move that we are seeing within the telecom space. How would you look at Vodafone?
Of course, as far as Vodafone is concerned, definitely we are seeing, some sort of, tailwinds in the sector in terms of rising, ARPU through, higher tariff rate. But specifically to Vodafone, we still remain sort of, soft in terms of, guiding to our clients because of, we believe the survival issues continue to a sort of, concern for the company. I know the way company has managed funding for last couple of months, that looks to be good for the company part, but overall the kind of the loss in terms of customers erosion which the company has been facing at the same time, when all these two big peers, they have already built up their 5G and they are migrating towards 4G in a very faster way, and company Vodafone looks to be in the losing side. And at the same time, we should not forget the fact that in coming years, company the government whatever government has given in terms of their positive things by living different thing, I think that's not going to be there in next 1 to 2 years. So considering everything, I think Vodafone investors should not look at the Vodafone in this space when we have definitely two other peers which are doing extremely well.
Okay, I think we do have Mitesh back with us. Mitesh ji? Yes. Yes, sir.
Mitesh ji, we were waiting for your comment on ONGC, sir. I hope you can hear us clearly.
Yeah, let me tell you.
ONGC for you.
Okay, so again, ONGC looks very strong. 342 was an intermediate resistance level it has crossed. So now the stock is eyeing at probably 380-420 level. And perhaps in next 1 week to 10 days, Shailji, this stock is going to get surprise all of us, along with GAIL, because the setup of GAIL is also very promising.
Okay, so these are the two stocks that Mitesh ji looks forward to from the PSU pack. Sakshi, let's just take a detour into some more prices that are clicking in the green. And as I had pointed out, railways looks pretty strong. Kernex again up 5%, 853. Remember, this is the anti-collision device maker. And just a day before yesterday, news came in that the government will spend an additional 27,000 crore rupees on expanding the rail network in the northeast, and that's the reason why you saw very sharp rallies coming up in IRFC, RVNL, so on and so forth. IRFC post earnings 1.5% higher, 186.50. RVNL 1% higher, 581. multiple positive news is coming in from this one. Let's look at the defense space. This is in pain, and there is nothing much to talk about. BDL 1% higher, 1358. Remember, it had a disastrous set of numbers day before yesterday. Garden Reach 1% higher. You have Cochin 0.5% higher, HAL 0.5% higher. So it's opening mostly in the green. Let's look at the top gainer in the FNO space. Okay, it's taking it away. Hindustan Copper and NMDC. Coming to you, Mitesh Bhai. Hindustan Copper in the ban in FNO. Very strong set of earnings. The stock has corrected sharply. What are the charts now telling you?
Yes, as a disclaimer, early in the morning, we have suggested both the stocks which we have discussed to our clients. I think the setup is very interesting as far as Hindustan Copper is concerned. 300 was a very strong support. The stock has defended, and as you said correctly, it has corrected in the recent past. So we are of the view that now it's up for a very strong short covering rally, followed by a sustainable buying. So 350, 360, it cannot be ruled out. With a stop of 300, one can go long in the stock.
Okay, got it. Several other stocks within the mid-cap basket also showing an uptick. Yes Bank about 2.4% higher in trade at 25 levels. Suzlon 2% higher at 81.9%. You also have some other stocks like PB Fintech that's up 1.5% in trade. Let's also pull up Honasa Consumer where the brokerage houses report has come in looking at a 26% upside. So 1.5% uptick for PB Fintech, but let's also look at Honasa, how that one is opening 5.8% higher at 477.9% on that brokerage houses report of Goldman Sachs that sees a 26% uptick on this one. Some of the other stocks which are up and about are LIC Housing Finance. Remember, brokerage houses are keeping a keen eye out on the housing finance companies as well. 1.2% higher in trade for this one. Within the pharma space, Gland Pharma is up by about 1.5% higher in trade. But let's first understand from Binod ji on Suzlon. 81.9%. It has been consistently moving higher. Several retail investors are now looking at Suzlon because of the unexpected move that has gone far beyond imagination as well. And of course, from the time the results came in, the stock is already up by about 37-38%. How would you really look at Suzlon now?
Suzlon, definitely we don't have under our coverage, as a share fund, the research part, but definitely as far as stock is concerned, and as far as our view, I believe the company has done extremely well in terms of restructuring or in terms of managing their balance sheet over last couple of years. That along with the sectoral tailwind which we have seen in overall wind turbine space. So there are as we all know, there are two players organized segment, bigger players Suzlon as well as the Inox Wind. So these are two getting a huge advantage from this the government side in terms of adding more renewable energy, wind energy over next couple of years, and that has already translated in healthy sort of order book. And recent last 2 quarters, if you look at the results, the way they have posted results, extremely strong results that cannot be denied. But yes, the kind of valuation what we are seeing as of now for the Suzlon, I think that looks to be at higher side to me, and probably the stock is factoring almost 3 to 4 year kind of solid earnings. So investors should be mindful as of now for infusing or deploying fresh money in this sort of a stock which has already witnessed sharp run up over last 1 to 2 years.
Okay, got it.
Coming to your PF, yeah, please continue, Sakshi.
Another space, I think Adani Group stocks we need to look at. MSCI has lifted that embargo on the Adani Group stocks, and most of the stocks are now up. Adani Energy Solutions 2.7% higher, Adani Green up 1%, Adani Total Gas also up by 4% right here. So the group stocks are buzzing. Let's also look at the flagship company, Adani Enterprises, then Adani Ports. These are the large cap companies within the group. Adani Enterprises up 0.5% and Adani Ports is also up by 0.3%. Let's get in Mitesh into the conversation. Mitesh ji, after the report came in, a knee-jerk reaction was seen across the board. Within the same day, some recovery happened. Today, there is another positive news that is also providing some support from the bottom for these stocks. How would you look at the entire group?
Yeah, so basically, Sakshi, as a disclaimer, after the first report, there was a crack in the stocks, and at that point of time, we have initiated a buy call in the entire house, by especially Adani Enterprise and Adani Port. So since a long time, we had a buy call on both these stocks. We continue to like the stocks on the charts because on the higher time frame, if you look at both Adani Enterprise and Adani Port, they are forming heart of high bottom formation with a very strong support on the downside. Apart from that, if you look at the delivery based volume, that is also increasing. So yes, on both these stocks, we have a buy recommendation. So we continue to remain on the buy side trade formation.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the market settled now. Nifty flat as flat can be, 24,342, down 4 points. Bank Nifty trying to start the day with a 200-point down tick, 182 actually, 50,395. Binodji, coming to you, what would be your top 5 stocks in the PMS in terms of AUM?
I mean, we are, very upbeat about the market, about Indian economy, and we believe credit, capex, and consumption. These three stories going to be a long-term story for next decade. I would say, considering everything we have, decent weightage in some of the defense stocks, some of the reality names like DLF. We also have some, consumption names, and specifically from the emerging sector like, EMS, where we have bets on companies like, some small companies. So overall, I would say in defense, HAL, we are very much positive. DLF, as I already stated, and when I state credit, definitely we have some exposure in banks like, quality banks in terms of, ICICI and all. In terms of infrastructure and capex, we have, decent weight upon, L&T as of. So these are, key names which we are owning as of now in our PMS.
Right, the Nifty opens on a back foot, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is T-1 for the weekly expiry. Down 19 points. The Nifty Bank Smart down just 69. The broader index Nifty 500 is in the green, and the Nifty IT index is all in the green. First and foremost, all 10 Adani stocks are in the green, led by ACC, led by actually Adani Energy Solutions, 6% higher, 1124. Let's look at the two main ones. Adani Ports is about 0.6% higher, 1510. Adani Enterprises is also 0.6% higher. You have a strong move coming into Adani Total Gas and Adani Green as well. Okay, now let's shift focus to the index heavyweights. For all practical purposes, ladies and gentlemen, the Hindenburg useless allegations as they were have been trashed by the market. Okay. HDFC Bank, okay, it's just changed color, 37 rupees down, 1622. That's a bit odd. ICICI Bank, 12 rupees higher, 1184. What's Reliance doing? Flat, 2925, 4.5 rupees higher. What's Infosys doing at the moment? It's flat again at 1799. So what's pulling the index higher? Okay, it's the banking space entirely. ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank and Axis Bank up between 0.8 and 1%. SBI is 0.5% higher. And what's the top loser? HDFC Bank, 2.5%, 2.1% down at 1624. Let's focus on the most active counters where you have a shade of green. ONGC, 0.2% higher, 342. Idea Cellular mildly in the red, 16 rupees, 0.1% lower. NMDC 1% higher post earnings, 231. Hindustan Copper 4% higher, 314. This is looking good. Dixon 2.5% higher, 11,958. Let's look at the top gainers in the NSE 500. Okay, Inox Wind taking it away, 20% higher yesterday, 8.5% higher today. Electra Green 6% higher, 1635. Suzlon limit up 4.5% higher, 84 rupees. And you have the likes of Sri Renuka Sugars. Okay, this is interesting, 2.7% higher, 47.80. So this is how the markets are, ladies and gentlemen. A mild red tick on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, and of course the NSE 500 is doing pretty well. How about the broader theme? 1428 shares in the green, 614 in the red. We track 19 indices for you out of 19. About 14 are in the green, led by the Nifty Alpha 50. Mitesh ji, my first question to you: what looks interesting in the market? Anything that you would like to do on the metal counters, Hindustan Copper, NMDC?
Yeah, Hindustan Copper looks very interesting. 315, so 312 is taken over. I think for the intraday, stock is eyeing at 320, 325. So with a stop of 312, one can go long. Apart from that, what is looking interesting is IDFC First Bank at 70 to 43 future, one can go long. Stop is 70, intraday target 75.
Got it. Binod, let's get you to talk about one of the latest companies that you would have probably looked at, Ola Electric. It's again up another 18% right now. It's the third day in a row, 20% circuits on first 2 days, and today again 18% higher. How would you look at the stock?
I think Ola Electric, it has really surprised everyone, post listing, right? The way we have seen, interest pre-listing, and now, it's completely surprised us. But yes, Ola Electric has been a sort of, leader in, specifically two-wheeler, electric vehicle space. And it is expected that the company would continue to maintain the leadership position going ahead. But again, we should not forget the fact, two to three things over here, that government is not as positive as it appears, like giving extra amount in terms of PLI to the industry. So it looks to be very, conservative in that way. Point number one. And point number two, all players, they sooner or later they will have to hike the prices, right, to meet the profitability, their desired profitability. So sooner or later, we believe the competition will rise significantly in this space. So that might have some sort of impact in overall the profitability, or might be the a sort of risk for the overall volume. So considering everything, we are not very much optimistic as of now. Overall, two-wheeler EV space. That's what our view as of now.
Right, and the stock has now slipped from the day's high. It's still holding up about 7% up in trade, where it was 18% higher at one point in time. And quickly you could see some sharp profit booking at those higher levels, especially for those who had got the IPO allotment. In the 3 days, they have actually made a considerable amount of money, and probably they may be looking at exiting the stock at these levels. And you could see a 7% uptick right now. Mitesh ji, getting you into the conversation. Inox Wind, 12% higher in trade versus Suzlon, that's now up 4.5%. The renewable energy space, wind energy space, how are you looking at these spaces?
Yes, especially there is a strong buzz in both Inox Wind and Inox Green. I am of the view, Sakshi, that it's a time to book the profit and move to some other counters. Reason being is this, that after a very long consolidation period, this stocks has given us spike up, and that too with not a very aggressive and impressive volume. So I am of the view that if you have it, book the profit and move to other counters. The extension of the trend going forward is sustainable. Is questionable. So definitely, I would like to book profit and exit the counter.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's just pause for a moment. We've had the 4-5 minutes of trade, and it's not looking good. Nifty is down 25 points. Bank Nifty is down 100 points. The Nifty 500 has shifted back to the red. What's buzzing is, like I had pointed out early in trade, railways. RVNL 594.85, 3.5% higher. Remember, it had gone up all the way above 601. Apart from that, you have TexRail. So wagon makers and anti-collision device makers are doing well. So Kernex is up 5%, TexRail is up 3%, you have HBL Power up 1%, and some railway financing companies, RVNL, IRFC, Railtel, IRCON and RITES up between 0.9% and 3.4%. These are initial moments. Let us see what happens. But Mitesh ji, your top pick within the railway space, what looks good on medium term charts?
REITs, that is looking good on the medium term chart. And I think the stock is now looking for some sort of an upside from here on. But one thing which one should be very clear with is that 650 is going to be the stop. As you know, Shelji, the counters have run up so fast in such a short period of time. So without a strict stop loss, one should not get into these counters.
Okay. Mitesh ji, we'll get you to talk about the chemical space, especially Aarti Industries that's down 10%. What's happening now and how are you looking at these spaces? You had taken out a report also on the entire chemicals basket, so you'll be best placed to help us understand what's in the offing.
Yeah, so Sakshi, on June 24th, Monday 2024, we have released a special report on chemical, pesticide and agrochemical sector in which we have mentioned three stocks. First is Balaji Amine, second is Previous Specialty, and third is Punjab Chemical. Within that, just an update, Previous Specialty reached a target of 20% within 10 working days only. And right now, Balaji Amines and Punjab Chemical is actually open first. So we are of the view that as far as our report is concerned, as far as these two stocks are concerned, we are of the view that yes, in this space, in these two stocks, the trend is still up and one can go and accumulate even at the current level. There are strong possibilities that sooner than later, both the stocks will achieve the targets.
Okay, got that. Let's get you, Binod, to talk about another space. And that is the pharma space again. Apollo Hospitals is now up 1.2%. Pharma healthcare space. What are the key stocks that are looking interesting to you now?
Yeah, overall hospital space, if you look at, I mean, the quarter one has been, decent, I believe, in terms of, our hope, what they have, most of the companies continue to see double-digit sort of growth in overall, our hope. At the same time, overall profitability level, it was, sort of, good or in line with expected number. Going ahead, as we expect, that the many, this hospital chain, they are going to expand their, positioning organically or inorganically. So that will continue to support their overall, revenue growth. So that looks to be good. Point number one. Point number two, of course, the way we are seeing the kind of, the shifting or the international patient, they have started coming back to India. That is again overall, having positive impact in over the ARPO part. So this looks to be quite good, and within the sector, I believe companies like Apollo Hospital that placed quite good. At the same time, some Artemis hospital that looks to be decent one from our active coverage. The hospital, if you look at overall, the ARPO looks to be lower vis-a-vis most of the organized player, and that is why company have decent scope to improvise it, and the company is almost in the process of adding or increasing almost 50% of overall bed capacity in next 2 to 3 years. So this and at the same time valuation looks to be at discount compared to many of the peers. So in hospital we are positive in companies like Apollo Hospital as well as the RTBC in small caps.
Got it. Well, we'll thank you, Binod ji, for being with us on this special edition and for sharing your insights with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time with us. We'll continue our discussion with Mitesh Panchal in the meanwhile, viewers. And a lot of mid-cap movers are now, picking up pace. You can actually see Suzlon now up 4.4%, RVNL now up over 3%, Dixon Technologies is up 3%, Macrotech Developers from the realty space is buzzing in trade. You have Ashok Leyland that's pulling up, ACC, Oro Pharma, a whole host of sectors and several stocks that are buzzing in trade. Mitesh ji, mid caps, anything look interesting to you?
Within the mid cap, we are looking at Gujarat Power Port Trust, which is up 6.5% right now at a 52-week high of 245. We are of the view that GPPL has entered into a new trading range post crossing 230 levels, and now Sakshi it is eyeing at 280, 320 levels. So that is looking very interesting. Apart from that, I think Aban Holding Limited, that is also trading at 590, up by 2%. So Aban Holding is also looking promising at the current level. So these are the two stocks within the space which we are looking at.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 927 on the board. So far so good. Like I said, there's nothing going to happen in the two major indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty. They are flat as flat can be. But there's absolutely no stopping mid caps. Let's look at the advanced decline ratio in the Nifty mid cap index. That should give you an idea as to how thoughts are being translated in to action. Okay, the Nifty mid cap index a third of a percent higher at about 57,530. It's even Stevens. 50 shares in the green, 50 in the red. The small cap 100 is where the interest is. Out of 100 shares, 62 are in the green and 38 are in the red. Let me give you another market map as far as the small cap index is concerned. There are 5 stocks that are up between 3 and 5%. Blue Star 4.5% higher, Triveni Turbine 4% higher, Hindustan Copper we've discussed 4.3% higher, and JBM Auto. Remember, tie JBM Auto to Electra Green also, which is buzzing in the green. At the moment, Electra Green is at 1694 on a strong set of earnings. JBM Auto is also in the same bus, making electric buses. Therefore, these two need to be looked at. There's another company, Automobile Corporation of Goa Limited. I am not sure whether we can show you that or not because that's on the BSC. Let me just see. No, that's not doing anything. Okay. Very hectic activity in the entire PSU space. You have strong gains coming into HUDCO post earnings, 1.8% higher, 305.50. SGVN is 1.27% higher. Actually, I think we need to pause and look at Electra Green because this is where a lot of activity is now happening post earnings. Sakshi will give you an update on what the earnings are. But Mitesh ji, what are the charts of Electra Green Tech telling you? Okay, this is a bounce from 200 DMA. What are the charts saying?
Was for you.
I don't think so. Mitesh can hear us. Sakshi, yours.
Okay, got it. And in fact, there's a new update on Ola Electric as well. There's a 1% equity that is exchanged hands too. And this is worth about 624 odd crore rupees that we have seen for this one too. As for the earnings of Electra Green Tech, as you were pointing out, Shail, we have the earnings. Revenue was up 45% at 313 crores versus 216 odd crore rupees. EBITDA improved by 2% to 43 crores. EBITDA margins came in, however, lower at 13.7% versus 19.4%, but it's the net profit that was up 33% at 24 odd crore rupees that has pulled up the stock as well. Let's now welcome our other guest on the show, Mr. Ratnesh Goyal, the Senior Technical Research Analyst at Arihant Capital Markets, is now joining us. Ratnesh ji, warm welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out. We want to first take your view on Electra Green Tech that we were just discussing after the earnings and the strong showing on the stock. How are you looking at the stock after a 10% uptick now?
Very good morning. Good morning, everyone, to and every viewer. Electra Green Tech, from the very, we have seen a very good move in this in the recent past. But now from the February month, it was in a consolidation mode. Now today it started trading above the 200 moving average line. So maybe today's closing will be very important. In the very near term, the supply zones come around the 1750, so this will be a very major supply zone. Until unless we will not get the close above that, we will see the same consolidation. And once we get the close above that mentioned level, we can see that move up to the 1850 1900 level. So I will suggest that just watch the today's close. So this is a very important.
Yes. Okay. Ratnesh ji also wanted to Ratnesh ji also wanted to understand from you your own two stock ideas. If you could share as well, have you picked out any?
Yeah, definitely. So one from the mid cap side from the Thyrocare. So this is not for the intraday. I will say that this is for the short term, medium term. I can see that the thyroker has met the bottom formation on the daily chart. I can see the very big target in this on the according to this chart formation. So maybe on this level, or maybe so we can add on some decline up to the 850. So the target could come around the the 950 to 1050 level, and the stop loss will come around the stop loss will also not so far. The 790 could be the stop loss. So I believe this could be the great idea for the short to medium term. And the second one is the Jubilant Food. This is the classic rounding formation, a rounding bottom formation on the daily chart, and we have seen a long consolidation around the 200 moving average line. So now Jubilant Food has given the very good formation. I believe that one can add these stocks and with the stop loss around the 600 rupees, and I can see the target around the 720 to 750 level. So this could be, this both idea could be around for the short term to medium term.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at 9:34, so the first 15-17 minutes have lapsed. What is moving? It's defensive counters such as the IT space. The IT index itself is the top performing index, 0.4% higher, 39,263, and persistent systems 1.8% higher. TCS 0.75% higher, HCL Tech, Coforge, all of them showing signs of activity on the green side. What else is buzzing? I think let's take a view, Sakshi, on TCS. My apologies, persistent, because this is a counter that is coming back after a lot of how should I say, quiet move. Okay, Ratneshji, what are the charts of persistent telling you?
Yeah, this is the outperforming in the IT sector. From the some past week we have seen some consolidation. So maybe we can see the breakout of this consolidation. So one can keep the stop loss around the 4700 level. The first target will come around the 4820, 4840. This could be the supply zone. Once we break this level, we can see the flag pattern breakout. Once if we get the close above the 4840, 4850 level, then the target for the near term will come around the 5000 level. But in the near term or in the very short term, we can see the target 4840.
Okay, and as a theme within the auto ancillary space, it's the battery makers that are taking it away. You have Exide, which is quoting above 504. There is a decent move in HBL Power, now 633, and Amara Raja batteries had actually started moving 3-4 days in advance. That itself is doing pretty well, about 1% higher at 1612. Exide is at the moment above 500 and doing pretty well, about 1% higher again. And of course HBL Power has that twin tadka of railways, storage, and of course a very strong performance in the first quarter. Ratneshji, what looks good within the battery space?
We compare between the Amar Raja and Exide, so definitely the Amar Raja outperforming definitely a little bit stretch on the chart, but I still I cannot see any kind of the negativity. Some consolidation is going on, so around the 1600 or 1560 it could be the good level to add, and with the stop loss 1500, so I can see the target around the 1750 1800 level. So Amar Raja would be the good bet.
Okay, Ratneshji, let me bring your attention to the FMCG space, especially Marico is something that I wanted to discuss. It's among the top movers in the F&O space, and remember the stock had taken a beating amidst the stir in Bangladesh. As the country is facing now a severe economic crisis, food inflation has crossed an all-time high in 13 years. It's breached the 14% in July as well. Protests have been happening, and due to which several of our companies which had exposure in Bangladesh were affected. Now Marico has come out with a report saying that their plants are back at the normal scale of production, and therefore do we see 2.7% uptick right there. 661, how would you look at the technicals of the stock?
Definitely, Marico was outperforming because of the some, as you mentioned, the Bangladesh news. So, some we have seen the some selling from the high level, but it has taken the good support on the 50-day moving average on the daily chart and trading between the short to medium term averages. So, I believe that the some near term supply will come around the 675. So, once it start trading above that, we can see the once again the all time high 690 or even 700 or 750 level. So still I can see that this could be a good bet because we can see the stock has taken the very good support around the 640 level. So this could be the stock loss 640, 620 for the target 690 and 750. So definitely it could be a good bet.
The other stock that I wanted you to focus on within the F&O space is again Dixon Technologies, up by about 2%. You remember there was this entire phase right ahead of the budget when there was hopes that PLI schemes could be extended, and therefore the EMS players were actually rallying sharply. Dixon, Keynes, these were the stocks that were bouncing like anything. How are you looking at Dixon Tech now? 11,940 right now, 2.3% higher in trade.
uh, Dixon definitely, continue the making the high rise formation, and we cannot see any kind of negativity or very major fall in this stock. So definitely, for the fresh entry, definitely it could be a little bit not good in the risk reward ratio favor, but someone holding from the lower level still can hold with the stop loss 11,600 level, because this is the very good support level, and it is taking the good short term moving average support. So I believe that one can place this stop loss and trail their position for the target 12,500 600 level.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at almost 940, the Nifty is now at day's low. 24,300 is about to be tested, down about 37 points. Remember, we are on T-1 for Nifty because Thursday, its weekly expiry day, is a holiday. Therefore, its expiry is pulled a day in advance along with Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is also down T-1 at about 200 points. At 52,034. Remember, yesterday's low was the weekly pivot of 24,220. So let us see whether that's tested or not. But for the moment, it's almost as if the market is completely ignoring the main indices and just focusing on the good parts. But it is our job to keep you posted. Let's look at what's pulling up the index. It's banks. ICICI Bank contributing 15 points in the green, Bharti Airtel contributing 11 points in the green, L&T and Reliance 7 and 6 points respectively, and Axis Bank 6 points. What is pulling the Nifty down? Okay, it's HDFC Bank. God only knows when will better days come for this stock. 2.4% lower at 45 points negative on the Nifty. Tata Motors, Lever, Asian Paints and Bajaj Finance are minuscule in the red and also contributing less than 4 points to Nifty's negativity. What's clicking, ladies and gentlemen? It's Aurobindo Pharma. I think you are going to see a digit change today. This is at 1495, needless to say a record high, and amongst the highest beta stocks that I have ever tracked in my life. This is now 2.2% higher. Ratnesh ji, is this momentum worth chasing, or should sensible medium term investors stay away?
No, definitely, like the medium term or if you say some long term, because we have seen the very good rally from the lower level, and it's on the chart little bit distressed. So I will not suggest the fresh entry in this stock, but definitely if someone holding the lower level can trail their position with the stop loss 1400 level. And I can see the target in the very not the very in the short term, but maybe in some medium term around the 1600 level. So but if someone holding from the lower level can trail their position, but for the fresh entry, I will not suggest.
Okay. Right. Let's now focus on some of the stocks that are gaining traction within the Nifty as well. Bharti Airtel is the top mover now, 1.3% higher in trade. Ratnesh ji, what are the charts of Bharti Airtel now telling you at this point in time?
Definitely, the Bharti is also the one stock which outperform in the sector, and is continue making the RI formation, and we cannot see any kind of the negativity as of now. The sale of sign in the chart, the 1400 could be the very good stop loss, and the near term 1420 could be the stop loss. So I believe that as of now, definitely not a very fast moving stock. This is, but we can see the target in the near term 1500 to 1530 level. So keep the stop loss 1420.
Okay, got it. So that's as far as Bharti Airtel is concerned. Well, the India VIX is now lower in trade at 0.24% lower at 15.8. So that's the good news. Large part of the markets are also improving. Consumer durables is now the top moving sectoral index, 0.5% uptick. IT follows suit. You have broader markets, small caps and the mid caps doing well. Infra, PSU banks, metals, FMCG, pharma, oil and gas, these are the sectors that are pulling up at this point in time. Now, within the other gainers in the broader markets, do we have any interesting names that we haven't discussed? Senco Gold is picking up pace, 6% higher in trade. JBM Auto from the auto ancillary pack is up and about. Electra Green Tech we've already discussed. Stovecraft has been on the move for the third session in a row. I think it's 9% higher in trade today. Strong moves that can be seen. Salzer Electronics, that's up in trade. Several Orient Green Power companies also up by 6 odd percent. Tilak Nagar Industries, that's up by 5.7% from the liquor space. You have Adani group stocks like Adani Energy Solutions coming back into the fore. Several stocks within several sectors that are on the move in trade. Dynacon Systems, this is one stock which has become a trader's favorite, 16% higher in trade right now. Very strong move that can be seen. Ratneshji, do you have a view on Dynacons?
Can you please repeat the name? Sorry,
Dynacon Systems, it's at 1460. The stock is up by 15.5%. Dynacon
okay,
Systems.
Yes. DSS. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely. So we have seen the very good move, and it is definitely a good company also. So definitely this will continue making the high formation. And I think that we have seen the consolidation. After the consolidation, we can see that today the fresh breakout. So definitely it could be still a good bet with the stop loss around the 1.3. This is a little bit, the volatile stock. So you have to keep the stop loss a little bit lower. So keep the stop loss 1360. Target could be come around the once we today if we get the close above the 1490, the target could be 1600.
Okay, got it. Banks like Shell pointed out are moving in the Nifty now. Axis Bank up almost 1%. ICICI Bank now up 0.8% higher in trade. So those are heavyweight banks that are pulling up the markets. You have L&T, HCL Technologies within the Nifty. That's also supporting the sentiment at this point in time. The Nifty PSE index has also turned green. You also have several stocks here that are pulling up. NMDC Oil India was something that was already up. Now you have NHPC, BHEL. You also have NTPC, Steel Authority, ONGC, Coal India, the entire basket that's up in trade. Just sharing with all of our viewers a flavor. Railway stocks we've not discussed with you, Ratneshji. A whole host of stocks that are up and about. IRCTC is up 0.4%, RVNL, IRFC, Titagarh Rail, they are all up and about. What looks good to you within the railway space?
Definitely, my favorite pick will be the RVNL because we have seen the the outperforming this stock and always bet on the horse. So RVNL will be the good bet. We have seen the recent decent correction and the not ready to broke the the major support level and the good moving average level. So I believe that RVNL could be a good bet here. Also keep the stop loss around the stop loss is also not so far. Keep the stop loss 550. We can see the target first 630 and the second once we get the close above the 660 or 650 round level, we can see the target a little bit, the higher side 725, 750.
Ladies and gentlemen, 9:47 for you. The first half an hour of trade has lapsed, and given the volatility, Nifty is back in the green. Thankful for that. Almost now above 24,340. Now, two stocks are to be listed today. Unicommerce, which is now at 113% above its IPO price. Now at 2:30, remember this is the listing that will happen at 10 a.m. This is the pre-settling that has happened, about 122 rupees higher at 2:30, and first cry, this is Brain Bees at 625 rupees, is 35% higher. So the mojo is back in the IPO market. You had a modest listing of Ola Electric, just 2 rupees higher at 78, and from then on there hasn't been a single breather. Sakshi had pointed out that today was the third day of the circuit, but a bit of profit booking, but 20% each, and today 6.5% is on Ola. That's a very big plus for all those who got shares in this two-wheeler maker. But a very strong show by both Brain Bee Solutions, which is the first try, and of course Unicommerce. Very strong listing coming in. What else is buzzing? I just want to mark the record highs in the market, because the first 5-7 20 half an hour of trade has happened, and that is an indicator of strength in a market which is flat. Okay, Inox Wind 9% higher, 227. Aurobindo Pharma, we've discussed, the digit has changed to 1500. Within the pharma space there are so many. Jyoti Labs 579, 3% higher. Ajanta Pharma, Glenmark, Cipla, these are the ones that are at record highs. And of course you have Muthoot Finance ahead of its earnings, ONGC and Oil India for various reasons. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the structure of the show as far as the markets are concerned. And Sakshi, taking it away within the Adani pack is the newly company that had just done a 6,000 crore rupee QIP, Adani Energy Solutions, 6.5% higher at 1129. Your view, Ratnesh ji, on Adani Energy Solutions at this point of time?
Definitely is a very a very volatile group and very hot group. So this is not good for not the very everyone cup of the tea that Adani is of now. But definitely we have seen the very long consolidation and underperforming this Adani Energy Solution. So from my side, as of now, there is no sign of any kind of the recovery. So not for the fresh entry, even now someone holding from the higher level or someone bought at the recent lower levels, I will suggest that keep the stop loss around the 1020 level, 1030 level. I cannot see any big move as of now. Just maybe some technical bounce up to the 1200 level.
Okay, got it. Let's look at the small caps basket. Sharp moves being seen across the board. Electra Green Tech taking it away 11% higher. JBM Auto now 6% higher. Blue Star is up over 6%. Triveni Turbine 5% higher in trade. Nippon Life about 3% higher. HFCL. You also have the sugar space stocks. Sri Renuka, Balrampur Chini that are up and about. Jyoti Labs is also moving in trade. Praj Industries, Apar Industries, IRB Infra is up 2% today after a long haul. Ramakrishna Forgings is another one that's been buzzing. Sharp moves across the space. Let's first ask you on Blue Star. Ratneshi, after a long haul, we are seeing the 6.5% kind of a move on an intraday basis on Blue Star. 1711 right now. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely a Blue Star. It is also the good stock and continue making the high formation. And we have seen some consolidation in the recent week from the July month. So as of now, I don't think so any kind of negativity, and we have seen the good support level. So if the stop loss around the 1620, I think it is a good bet for the target. The near term target will come around the 1800 level, and after that the 1900 level. So it is a good bet.
Okay, and how about the sugar space stocks? Are you tracking any stocks, say maybe Balrampur Chini or Sri Renuka? What looks good to you?
I am not, sugar is not my favorite favorite thing, but definitely if for the viewer, one stock definitely the Balrampur Chini, just for the for the very near term or very short term, definitely Balrampur Chini could be the bet with the stop loss 480 for the target 530 or 550 level.
Okay, got it. There are several other stocks that are on the move now. Let's look at some other stocks within this space. Okay, IT is picking up pace along with HCL Technologies. TCS is now up 0.6% higher in trade, and IT, some of the stocks are actually pulling up. Coforge, Persistent Systems, Emphasis, broader markets largely that are moving. Anything within the IT pack, Ratnesh?
Since we discussed the persistent already, sir, apart from persistent, definitely there is a if someone wait on the TCS could be the good bet. The 4181, 4180 could be the stop loss. So I believe that once we start trading over the 4250 level, we can see the target around the 4350.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to point out one very interesting stock, which is Geo Finance. 336 at the moment, 2.5% higher. And what's really happening is a string of block deals ever since morning. Remember, the stock had sort of corrected fairly decently over a period of time from 350 rupees. I think that was the peak, to about 312. Now 336. Ratnesh ji, what are the charts of GeoFin telling you? Is there some kind of accumulation happening?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the GeoFin chart, it is we have seen a long consolidation, still a consolidation going on. So I believe that if someone for to for the midterm view can take the bet here with the stop loss not so big, the 304. The for the target, we can see the target 360 and the 390 level, but it will take some time.
Right. So 350, actually 393, my apologies, was the all-time high which we saw on 23rd of April, and from then on it's a very nice slow correction. We saw 311 about last week, which is also around the 200-day moving average, and from then on you've seen a very nice move coming in. Electra Green, ladies and gentlemen, we've checked this stock since morning. There's now a digit change on Electra Green. This is a bounce that is happening from 200-day DMA, which is following a very strong earnings show. So keep Electra Green in mind. Again, it has corrected beautifully from a high of 2227 around 22nd of February to this very slow correction to about 1700 rupees. Therefore, it requires a nice view as well, given the proximity of earnings. What is moving? Lupin 2131, strong move coming in here, 1.5% higher and fairly decent block deals. Ratnesh ji, Lupin for you.
Yeah, so all pharma stocks is doing very well. I think the pharma stocks will remain continuous. So definitely, Lupin, we have seen the recent after consolidation, we have seen the flat pattern breakout in the month of July starting. So definitely, still we can see the big target from here level also. So if the one can trail their position with the stop loss around the 1950, 1970 for the target. The target is still the bigger here from this level also, like 2300 level, but the near term we can see the 2200 level.
Okay, Ratnesh ji, we'll thank you on that note for being with us on the morning edition and sharing with us all your stock ideas and strategies on the markets right there. And we'll start wrapping up the morning edition for our viewers. The markets are now down 35 odd percent lower on the Nifty, 24,311. The Nifty Bank is down by about 0.4%. There's a 200 point of a downtick that you can actually see on the Nifty Bank as well. financial services, realty, Nifty Bank, private banks, media, metal stocks, oil and gas have all slipped into the red. What's still holding up is the consumer durable space within the sectors, IT space, FMCG, PSU banks, broader markets and the pharma space. These are the few sectors that are still holding up. The top movers on the Nifty include names like Hero Motocorp, Apollo Hospitals, HCL Technologies, Axis Bank, L&T and Cipla. These are representative of some of the sectors that are already higher in trade and some of the stocks that are still buzzing. Almost half the markets have slipped into the red. You do see the top loser right now on the Nifty being HDFC Bank. So that is the one that's pulling down the Nifty lower, 2.3% lower in trade for HDFC Bank. You have Bharat Petroleum, Tata Motors, HDFC Life, Shriram Finance, SBI Life and Asian Paints as some of the other stocks that are down in trade. Even the PSCE index, that's the public sector enterprises index, has now slipped into the red. Extremely volatile trading session, 0.3% lower in trade for now. And some of the stocks that are still holding up are Oil India, NHPC, NTPC and ONGC. But most of the stocks have actually slipped into the red within the PSE pack as well. F&O movers include stocks like Gujarat Narmada Valley Fertilizers, that's up by about 4%. Hind Copper, that's also up by 4%. We can actually see a move on this one post the earnings have come in. Marico is up by about 3% on that Bangladesh move. You have Balrampur Chini Mills, Persistent Systems, Oro Pharma as among those stocks that are still holding up. Nippon Life are some of the other movers that is also up and about within the F&O space. What's not doing well within F&O? Stocks like Aarti Industries, that's down by 13.3% now. Sharp fall that can be seen on Aarti Industries. Deepak Nitrite, Sun TV, Navin Fluorine. These are the stocks that are lower in trade. We have the listing now of Brainbees, that's First Cry, that's about to take place, and also of Unicommerce on the NSE. So we'll look for, there you have it. That's the bell that's gone in. And you can actually see this is for Brainbees or First Cry, the listing that's happened, a 46% premium that one can actually look at onto the stock for First Cry on your screens right there. Remember the issue price for 465 rupees odd for the company. And you can actually see a strong listing on First Cry. That's taken place 683 right now for the stock as far as First Cry is concerned. Let's also look at Unicommerce to see how that one is also listing.
To please be on stage. I request everybody to please be on stage.
So that's First Cry for you. Brainbees Solutions, a 46% uptick, and Unicommerce Solutions, 130% uptick. 246 is the current level at which Unicommerce is trading at. Remember, 108 was the issue price as well. So Brainbees Solutions, First Cry is listed at 651 rupees per share versus the issue price of 465 rupees. A very strong uptick of about 46% odd listing is what we have actually seen. And for Unicommerce, currently the stock is hovering at 243. And you actually see there's a 126% upside from the IPO price that we've seen. Strong listing for both these companies. We'll continue to track these for you during the course of the day. Unicommerce management will also be joining us shortly in some hours to give us an understanding of post the listing. How do they see the company going forward from here? So stay tuned. There's a lot more lined up for you.
भाई किसान लोग बताइए, नई नई वैरायटी होती है, आप लोगों को कैसा रहता है इसका? आइए किसान मेरे अंडर आ जाए इस खाते में।
भारत सरकार की स्कीम आई थी मेरा गांव मेरा गौरव। तो मेरे भी गांव का क्लस्टर IRA ने अडॉप्ट किया था। तो उसमें हर सोमवार को हमने एक दिन तय किया था कि फार्म स्कूल चलेगा, कोई ना कोई साइंटिस्ट यहाँ से आता था। तो जो हमारी समस्या थी कि हमारा चावल रिजेक्ट हो रहा था बाहर पेस्टिसाइड की वजह से, तो हमारे किसानों के ग्रुप को वो समझाया गया कि आपने